I found my unemployed boyfriend in the club, spending my money on some Bimbo. You know how you go about your day, slaving away at your jobs. Yes, you heard that right, jobs, plural, while your other half is supposedly seeking employment. It's a hell of a thing when you're the breadwinner and your boyfriend, well, ex now, but I'm getting ahead of myself, is lounging about, doing nothing to help at all. Anyway, I work 2 jobs, for Christ's sake. I'm practically on my feet 24/7, and this jackass couldn't even land a gig flipping burgers. Not even as a street sweeper. I mean, what the hell? I come home every night, dead on my feet, while this numbskull has been on his ass all day watching daytime talk shows. And last night, it came to a head. I woke up to find him gone, with a note saying he'd gone to see his brother. Now, let me tell you something about this brother. He works the graveyard shift, and it's just after midnight. There's no way he's entertaining company. Plus, his track record of past lies just had my gut screaming, bullshit. So, I did some digging, made a few calls, and voila, my Sherlock Holmes moment. The dimwit had toddled back to the club where we'd spent many a night in happier times. It was close to 1 a.m., and I was dead tired. I had to be up at 5 to get ready for my morning shift at the diner. But damn it, I was fuming. I had half a mind to let him go, but I wasn't going to let him get away with making a fool out of me. So I hauled myself out of bed, threw on some clothes, and drove down to that godforsaken club. Walking in, it felt like a scene from a cliche movie. The dim lights, the loud music, the smell of spilled beer, and there he was, in the corner, buying drinks for some bleached blonde with plastic popping out of her chest like she's auditioning for a sequel to Baywatch. I could feel the rage boiling up. The ungrateful bastard was blowing my hard-earned money on cheap beer and an even cheaper woman. I have to admit, it was kind of funny watching him there. He was grinning like a dog that had found a bone, oblivious to the fact that this chick was only interested in him for free drinks. This poor excuse of a man, who didn't even have 2 nickels to rub together, thinking he's God's gift to women. I almost laughed. Almost. So, I did what any self-respecting woman would do in my position. I strutted right up to them, grabbed the bimbo by her obviously store-bought hair, and gave her a few well-deserved slaps. She squawked like a parakeet and tried to claw at me, but I just shook her off. It felt so good, so damn good to finally be doing something about this mess of a relationship. Then I turned to him. I'll never forget the look on his face, like a deer in headlights. He started stammering out an apology, but I didn't want to hear it. I grabbed him by the collar and dragged him out the back door of the club and into the alley. I was on a roll now. I didn't care who was watching. I slapped him, hard, yelling at him, venting years' worth of frustration. He was whimpering, begging me to stop, like his pleas would actually matter to me after everything. Security finally showed up, pulled me off him, and he had the nerve to scramble away like a scared rat. I roared after him, letting him know in no uncertain terms that his sorry ass would be finding all his stuff on the street by the time he got back home. It felt amazing walking back into that club, head held high, eyes blazing. I even managed to slam down a drink, yes, a neat whiskey, since I know someone would ask, before driving myself home. If I ever needed a stiff drink, it was then. The house was eerily silent when I got back. The emptiness echoed around me. I looked at the clock, it said 3 a.m., but there was one thing I needed to do. I lugged his stuff out of our place, well, my place now, and tossed it off the balcony onto the sidewalk below. I watched as his clothes, his shoes, his stupid PlayStation, all his worldly belongings, splattered on the concrete below. Afterward, I managed to squeeze in about 1.5 hours of sleep before my alarm shrilled, bringing me back to reality. Another day, another dollar, right. Except this time, I was going to be the only one reaping the benefits of my hard work. Now here's the kicker. As I was coming home from my shift at the diner, I get a call. Guess who? Yes, the cheating, lying, unemployed ex-boyfriend begging me to take him back. Apparently, he has nowhere else to go, no one to turn to. Can you believe the nerve? He cheats on me, makes me look like a fool, and now he thinks I'm going to let him back in. I told him to take a hike. I told him to go sleep in a box for all I cared. Or better yet, go back to the club and find that plastic Barbie he was so keen on. I'm sure she'd be thrilled to have him. In the end, I'm not sad or regretful. I'm just relieved. Relieved that I finally stood up for myself. Relieved that I don't have to carry his sorry ass around anymore. He was a weight, dragging me down, and now that he's gone, I feel lighter than I've felt in years. And you know what? Reddit. I'm proud of myself. I stood up, faced my problem head on, and came out stronger. And yeah, I may have lost a boyfriend, but I gained so much more. Thanks for reading, guys. I needed to get this off my chest. Now, I'm going to kick back, relax, and enjoy the peace and quiet in my ex-free home. Good riddance. That dude probably should have been grateful to have had a place to live and definitely should have contributed to the household. Mercy, some people. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.